Hey there, it's Ty the dog trainer here, and what I wanted to do is shoot just a really quick video teaching you a concept that I teach all of my clients. Now, this is the concept and this is the program that I use to fix basically any problem. Now, as dog owners, there's about 1,000 things that we can do wrong with our dogs, but there's really only three categories of things that we can do wrong. And so when I teach my clients, or here at Communicating, when we teach our clients, to train their dogs, we always help them understand these three things so that they can fix any problem. So the first thing we're looking at is when we're trying to fix any issue is the tools that we're using, the dog training tools. What are those tools? We need to have the right tools for the job. One thing I'm always fond of saying is you can't change your oil with a hammer. It just doesn't work. And so to train your dog, you need to have the right tools. What can that be? That might be a leash. And oftentimes this is a big issue. The first thing that I have that we have our puppy clients do is keep their puppy on a leash, even in the house, so that we can control behavior, we can guide behavior, we can mold behavior. You can't do that verbally by shouting at your dog. You've got to physically show your dog how to do it. So a leash, maybe a collar, maybe it's a training collar, maybe for certain things we need a treat, for certain things we need a crate, or a kennel, sometimes people will call it. And this is a big one. Oftentimes somebody leaves their 6-month-old dog home alone for 5 hours and they wonder why he's going to the bathroom on the floor. Well, we've got the wrong tool. Sometimes it's our hand to pet the dog. Sometimes it's a long leash. Whatever the case might be, we need to have the right tools for the job. And so whatever issue you're dealing with right now, what tools do you need to fix it? Now, that's something that we can help you with here at Communicanine. But really examine what tools that you need. Again, you're not going to change your oil with a hammer, and you're not going to train your dog with the wrong tools. The reason this is so important is because dogs don't learn verbally, and so we can't use our voice as a tool very much to tell our dog what to do. We need to physically show our dog, and so that requires tools. The next thing I look at is the techniques that we're using, and there's basically two things I'm looking at when it comes to techniques. Do we have the correct techniques? Because sometimes as we get involved with training, we just figure out we've got the wrong techniques. Our dog needs a different technique. You might read a book, you might hire a trainer like us to kind of show you techniques, but as you get involved with training, sometimes those are the wrong techniques. Or sometimes are you doing the techniques in the correct fashion? Sometimes the techniques that you have from your book or from your trainer or from whomever, they're just fine. Those techniques are great, but maybe you're just not doing those techniques right. And that often happens. As dog owners, we're not perfect, and there's a little bit of a learning curve to get these things right. Now, the last thing I look at when I'm trying to determine why is my dog doing something wrong and what can I do to fix it is the consistency. Now, consistency, same as the techniques, is two different things. Consistency is percentages, and consistency is also time. And so, let's take for an example the percentages. Let's say we have a dog that jumps on people, and let's say we've got the right tool to address it. We've learned the right technique, and now we're ready to address it. But let's say consistency-wise, we only address it 4 times out of 10. Well, guess what? 4 out of 10 is not going to fix your problem. Now, that's just one example, but we need to be consistent with these techniques. And again, that's why it's important to have the right techniques. Can't tell you how many times I've had somebody call me looking for training for their dog, and they say, I don't know why the dog's not doing things right. We've got the right, we're being so consistent. Well, you can be as consistent as you want, but if you've got bad techniques, your consistency is not going to get you anywhere. And that's one thing that we specialize in. Because we've worked with hundreds and hundreds of dogs over the years, every single type of dog, so many different breeds of dogs, so many different issues with the dogs, we can kind of craft the right technique for your dog, and that's where we really stand out and can really help you. But like I say, even if you're going to a book or you're going to a different trainer or whomever, you just got to make sure you have the right techniques and then consistently apply those techniques. And then the last is time. If we have the right tools, we have the right techniques, we need to do those tools or use those tools and techniques for a long enough period of time until we change behavior. This is another one that I see too often. Maybe someone is trying to house train their dog, and so maybe they leave their dog in the crate while they go run errands and they're out of the house for a little bit. and they do that until the dog is 4 or 5 months of age, and then they start leaving the dog out. Well, that was not enough time for that issue. You need to be more consistent for a longer period of time. Or the same thing, maybe somebody uses some treats and they teach their dog to come, but maybe they only do it over the course of a couple weeks. Well, that's usually not enough time to have a really good come when called command from your dog. And so, whatever the case might be, you've got to have the right tools, have the right techniques, and be consistent with that. And if that's the case, you can basically fix any issue. You can basically work on any dog training problem that might exist. And so, good luck. Happy training.